Welcome to the Cross Canada Spotlight. I'm Mike Arsenault. Every week we take a look at a handful of the most interesting and entertaining stories produced across the Global News Network. Our first story is one of perseverance by a young man who beat cancer as a teenager and how he's now hoping to help others facing adversity.
Chris Stewart never thought he'd be an author, and he definitely never predicted he'd have cancer at age 18.
This story is really about getting dealt one of the worst hands possible and finding a way to play it.
He was in grade 12 when the nosebleeds and vomiting began. For months, doctors didn't know what was wrong until his parents carried him into emergency.
It was a nasal tumor and it had kind of spread up and gone around my brain and then gone to my neck too.
There were 7 tumors in all, one the size of his fist. The rare type of neuroblastoma was considered stage 4, and his family was told he wouldn't make it.
So then I woke up in a hospital after emergency brain surgery, and 4 months had gone by, but I didn't remember any of it. It was pretty crazy.
3 surgeries, 5 rounds of chemo, and 27 radiation treatments later, Chris was left with nerve damage, which affects his right eye and his strength. He also has memory issues, but he can't forget how people treated him before his nose was reconstructed.
People became really shallow, and it really showed me that lots of people right now, well, it specifically in kind of my age group, have become really reliant on face value.
It's one of many lessons this now 22-year-old has written about in his first book, Breakthrough. Chris says writing, along with his family and counseling, got him through the dark days. He's learned failure is actually important.
I failed so much when I was trying to build my body strength back up, or trying to improve my confidence, but I failing meant one thing. It meant that I was trying.
He went from struggling to move to running at least 5K every day, and he's back in university. Chris knows youth and luck were on his side when it came to surviving cancer, but everything he's accomplished since came from within.
You know, if there's something that you want, there's no excuse. If there's somebody telling you can't do something, it's not them stopping you. You're the one that's stopping you.
Sulingo, Global News.
What an inspiring young man Chris is. He definitely seems wise beyond his years, and hopefully his story and experiences can provide comfort and knowledge to others. To another inspiring young person. This one is in Saskatchewan, and she's hoping to reach her dream thousands of feet in the air.
Agnes Niandezi wants to be one of a select few from her home country to become a pilot.
It's very exciting. I honestly did not think I'd come this far from just a child who had a dream in a refugee camp, who didn't know what her future was like.
Her parents originally escaped a civil war in Burundi before moving to Zimbabwe.
I was born in a camp, so all my past life has been living in a camp.
As young as 7, Agnes was fascinated by planes flying overhead.
I was one of the kids who would just stand there, watch it, be amazed about it.
After her mother died in 2013, the family of 8 moved to Canada in 2016 after being sponsored by a Saskatoon church.
It was just all like a miracle. I didn't know what was happening. It was happening so fast. Tower, check 1, 2, 3.
She got into the aviation community in high school, but her first time in a plane?
It was scary. Yeah, it was scary, but it was also exciting, really exciting. It's the best feeling being in an airplane.
Agnes attends flight school and has gone from volunteer to employee at the Saskatoon Aviation Museum.
Shows you how fast you're moving in the air. It's called a pitot tube.
Agnes should have her private pilot license by the end of the summer. She hopes to get into an aviation program at Mount Royal University next year, then hopefully work for a major airline.
Maybe become a captain one day. I would like to maybe be part of a team that would be building something that is more eco-friendly. I would like to get more women into the aviation world.
And she can't wait to take off on her own.
Sometimes I think I'm dreaming and slap myself like, wake up, wake up, wake up. No.
Montana Getty, Global News.
After watching that, I think we're all pulling for Agnes to realize her dream. And her passion for aviation is contagious. It just leaps off the screen, doesn't it? And it's awesome that she set a goal for herself and has a concrete plan on how to achieve it. Some great stuff. Now to Ontario for a story where a woman, well, she started with a small teal hanger and turned that into a $5,000 painting solely by bartering.
On August 11, 2020, I began my trading journey around North America, starting with a little teal hanger.
The trading up journey for professional organizer Ivanka Solkowski has landed her a $5,000 painting, but she has no intention of keeping it.
For me, it's less about the trades themselves, but the people that I meet along the way and the stories that I get to tell based on these trades.
My journey began in Hamilton, Ontario, where I traded the hanger for a large travel tote.
The idea came to Solkowski in April 2020 after being hospitalized due to COVID-19.
For 3 weeks, and I was paralyzed for 6 and walking with a cane for an extended period of time.
Solkowski needed a distraction from her diagnosis, and the Little Teal Hanger trading project was born.
Trade 3 was back at home in Toronto, where I traded the bottle of wine for a cello.
It has been very trying times for a lot of us, and so this was just a fun little thing to give people hope that things will turn around.
Lockdowns halted Solkowski's trading for months, but she's back at it.
Here I have a beautiful painting by artist Sarah Phelp. She created a custom piece for this journey worth $5,000.
And this is waiting to be traded.
Yes, with the one and only Celine Dion, if you are watching.
While many of Solkowski's TikTok followers have tagged the Canadian songstress, the painting is available to anyone who loves it as much as Solkowski does. But unlike the Celine song, the trading will not go on.
It will stop next August 11th, for sure.
Yeah.
Or until I get something that is just non-tradable.
Like
the horse ranch. If anyone has a horse ranch they just want to part with.
What have you learned from all of this?
You know, I learned that people are good. In a time where we aren't really sure about anything, that is the one thing that I have learned, because every trade has taught me something about a stranger and brought me joy.
Melanie Zettler, Global News.
Okay, I have to be honest, during that entire story, all I could think about was Dwight Schrute from The Office doing the same thing during the episode where he traded up to get a telescope, but then traded it all away for some of Jim Halpert's magic beans. Now I can relate this next story to The Office as well. Remember when they had the warehouse basketball game? Well, the teenager you're going to see in a second would have dominated that contest. Take a look.
The past few days have been overwhelming for Anthony Mobike and his family.
That's beyond my wildest dreams.
Just days ago, the teenager was using branches as a net and dribbling for up to 4 hours a day. But it all changed when his neighbor, Ian Ray, made a call to the community asking for help. Canadian Tire saw it and donated the hoop and a new basketball. And people pitched in for a gift card.
I didn't expect it to get this huge. Like, that much support from the community, all to me and my family, is like really something that I would never see coming, and I'm just really happy.
It goes beyond that. After seeing his story, a student recruitment manager with Royal Crown Academic in Toronto offered Anthony a chance to take part in a basketball program next year, bringing his mom to tears.
My heart is full of joy. I'm overwhelmed. I don't know what to say. I don't know what to, all I can say is thank you so much.
The Global News story about Anthony went viral, getting more than 1 million views. It got the attention from musician Peter Frampton and former NBA player and sports podcaster Rex Chapman. Perhaps the most surreal mention, though, Anthony's idol. LeBron James saying, "Keep working, kid. You have another fan in me."
I'd like to say thank you to LeBron for posting that, because LeBron's my inspiration. That's him right there. LeBron's the main reason why I started playing basketball.
Anthony will continue to draw inspiration from the king, and he knows his community will help fuel his own NBA dreams. Sarah Comadina, Global News.
What a sweet story and a great example of community support. Best of luck to Anthony on his basketball journey. Now, a couple of stories this week probably put a smile on your face, but this next one might produce the biggest smile of all. Don't believe me? We'll take a look.
You know, you don't need a study to know that a bit of canine companionship can be a great thing. But here at UBC Okanagan, they did one anyway to find out why. And the results, they say, are positively fascinating.
We found that how students interact with therapy dogs is really critical to their well-being.
The research project was facilitated through UBCO's BARK program,
an acronym for building academic retention through canines.
We randomly assign participants to a hands-on condition with dogs, to a session with dogs but with no touch, and then a third session with no dog.
Students were asked to rate various well-being metrics such as happiness, stress, homesickness, and loneliness before and after each session.
And lo and behold, we found that the students who interacted directly through touch significantly benefited the most.
As you see the students sort of petting the dogs, as you see them really getting into those lovely interactions, you just see the big smiles on their faces, and it is just amazing to watch.
Oh, she loves it.
Davis Wiggs was heartbroken recently when his family dog died suddenly while he was away at school.
It was just really tough for me just because I wasn't able to say goodbye.
The UBCO grad credits the sessions with helping to minimize his anxiety.
Social anxiety is part of my my mental health, and coming here is always just like being able to just interact with the dogs is in itself is like it reduces my anxiety tenfold.
And as angst mounts for some students over the return to in-person learning during COVID, BINFET is recommending that UBCO students take advantage of the BARK program,
where they can spend time with therapy dogs and reduce their stress.
It's a program, BINFET says, that will benefit immensely from the recent findings.
This study really advances both our scientific knowledge and our practice of how we should move forward when you run sessions on campus to support student well-being.
Travis Lowe, Global News, Kelowna.
How can you not be beaming after seeing all of those adorable faces? Where was this program when I was in school? What a great idea. Now I need to give my own dog Cookie a few cuddles right now, so let's wrap things up here. That's it for the Cross Canada Spotlight this week. Be sure to watch Global News Weekend Saturday and Sunday mornings at 7 a.m. on the Global TV app.